Conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
There's something about this boy.
He can see things before they happen.
These visions you have. Careful you must be.
The Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace before the dark times.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Something terrible has happened.
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
You will be tempted by the dark side.
I am your father.
The belonging you seek. It is ahead.
All right, so
the 8th episode was Jedi.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah.
We're off to a smooth start.
Come
yeah.
on,
So,
man.
Thanks for joining us. Sorry for such a long hiatus, but we're growing boys, and we got shit to do.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, it's the whales have breached.
The whales
And we've been shut down by Disney. Thanks there. We're done. It's nice knowing you guys. Disney sued us into the ground.
Shit. I forgot.
All right, yeah. So today is our Star Wars Day episode.
Which means
May
we're going
the
to talk
4th.
about how great Firefly is.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
For the 3 people that watch that show. I'm just kidding.
Don't you
A lot of people
dare.
watch. Firefly is a great show.
He just happens to be one of those 3 people. And one of them is was it Will Wheaton that did it or no?
No, it was
Nathan
Fillion.
No, who directed it?
Not Will Wheaton. You're thinking of Josh Whedon.
Josh Whedon. Sorry.
To Will Wheaton.
Shut up. Anyway.
Shut up,
Sheldon
Wesley.
Cooper's rival.
So today is Star Wars Day. Today we celebrate Star Wars Day. Star Wars Day is the day on every May 4th that fans around the world gather and celebrate a little low-budget film from 1977 that was seen to never be a success and ended up changing Hollywood dramatically. This low-budget film spawned 5 sequels, 5 prequels, TV series, countless comic books and novels, and millions of dollars in merchandise. All thanks to a cheesy sci-fi movie made by a man named George Lucas about laser swords, space battles, and a villain in black that has a serious case of asthma. Kids and adults around the world have embraced this movie and all that it represents, and have formed the connection to the story of a farm boy on a rural desert planet and his adventure into the galaxy to fight the forces of evil.
He didn't get to go to Tashi Station.
They get those power
I
converters.
went to Tashi Station to pick up power converters.
Not now, Luke.
I cringe every time I watch that movie and I hear that line because he's such a whiner.
Will you ever see the
He's such a
deleted
baby.
scenes where I think he actually goes to Tashi Station because he meets one of his friends.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think they're like hanging out in one of the huts somewhere.
When was that?
Because it's like how Rogue One transfers into A New Hope because of that deleted scene. I think you're what? Oh, no. He does go to Tashi Station. I'm thinking of the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes. Because he also sees the space battle with his binoculars.
What space battle? What were we talking
So
about?
there's deleted scenes for A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah, and
Jeez.
one of the deleted scenes is him at a moisture unit like on the farm.
Okay.
And he looks up and he sees like a bunch of like flashes in the sky,
Oh, shit.
which is the Leia ship being attacked by the Star Destroyer.
He was probably rooting for the Empire, too. That was probably the funny part.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did want to join the Imperial Academy.
Well,
That's,
yeah,
like,
because
his
he
whole
doesn't
thing.
understand the evils. That's the thing.
I want to get off this rock.
Well, before the Solo movie, it was established that Solo was a washout from the Imperial Academy.
Yeah,
I mean, he
so
technically was.
I can't believe I'm drawing a blank.
He
on
left the
his
Imperial
friend's name.
Army.
Yeah.
I want to say his name is Lance, but I think that's wrong.
Lance.
Who was his friend that he meets on Yavin?
yeah.
What's
Well, Tatooine, you mean?
Well, he meets him on Tatooine, but then he meets him on Yavin,
Oh.
and
Yeah,
like
remember
he's
those
in it for
great
like 5
friends that
seconds.
die 'cause, like,
Oh,
feel like
I
it
know
takes so
exactly
long.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They meet up beforehand. I thought it was what's a face?
Well, in one of the deleted scenes, they meet
Yeah.
it beforehand. He's like, "I'm getting away here before the Imperials draft me. I'm gonna go join the Rebel Alliance." And Luke's like, "Oh."
Why would you announce that?
Because he's.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna go join
I don't think a
them rebels.
farm boy from Tatooine would have any conversation with the Imperial Army.
I'm gonna join those rebels. Me in Imperial territory.
Well, no, Tatooine wasn't.
No,
Imperial
it was an Outer Rim
territory.
planet.
It was
Wasn't it,
Hut
though?
territory. It's
Yeah.
Hut territory.
It's Outer Rim.
Yeah, but there were Imperials on there.
Well,
At
yeah.
one point, because they were looking for
Yeah,
Ben
they're looking
Kenobi.
for Ben and in C-3PO and R2-D2.
The Hutts weren't going to do anything because,
Yeah.
you know, if you watch Clone Wars, you
Walking
see all the
no
Yeah, I
conflicts
love
between.
Clone Wars.
Oh. Yeah. So
Don't forget Zero the Hutt.
don't bring that up. We're not bringing up Zero. All right, Sister's
Sister's
making
just doing a
noises,
really
making faces over here.
Decent job impression.
All right, let's move
I
on to
got
our first
a little
topic.
story to tell. So, we were at Brewster's, Lex and I, which is an ice cream place near our
Where we live.
near our neighborhoods, and there was a sign outside that said "Now hiring," and Lex was like, "Ooh, I should apply here," and she's like, "No, I can't, because like if it's anything like McDonald's, I'm just gonna keep eating the food." And she's like, "I'm gonna if I stay here, I'm gonna get really fat and stuff." And I was just like, "Chico no waki no solo oh." And she's like, "Are you calling me Jabba?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm really surprised you got that, but I'm proud actually."
That is so mean.
That's fucking great.
It's not the
It's not the meanest thing you
meanest
could have said in that situation.
but she thought it was funny.
All right, if she thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Yeah, the shit that Lex says to me.
All right, let's not
Yeah.
turn this into
point.
that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so what does Star Wars mean to you? So that was the first question. Is just like, how did you guys get into it? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I honestly can't remember. I mean, I used to watch it with my dad. I had it on VHS, so I watched Empire more than anything else because the intro to Empire, like, you know, like the fucking Hoth battle.
Yeah, of course.
Just as a kid, was just
Yeah.
just all wide-eyed the entire time.
Yeah. I've I started watching Star Wars. I was pretty young, and my brother had the entire saga up to that point.
Yeah.
So, like, when I was, like, 7, I think it might have been just, like, Phantom Menace out of the prequels that they just released.
So, did you have the same mistake I did when you were a kid and just thought... Because I thought that those weren't prequels. I just thought they were new Star Wars movies.
Well, I knew they were
figured it
before. I knew they were before, but I thought they came out, like, they were the first ones to come out.
out. Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't
And you
really
know,
get
and you
that,
just
but-
noticed the video quality went
I mean, we
downhill
were kids.
after
I
the
also
third
thought
episode.
the same thing.
I also thought the Power Rangers were really well done. Then, I mean,
Well, every kid does. The Power Rangers, to a certain point, are well done, but
yeah,
for what they make,
for 90s shows,
yeah.
of a Japanese translated show.
Exactly. So for me, Star Wars is basically just, it was more of an escape, kind of. I kind of, like, when I was a kid, before everyone understood just how great the franchise was, like, it was kind of like a guilty pleasure. Like, it was something I would,
Before it was cool to be a nerd.
Exactly. But
before
literally,
theory.
That's what it was like. I just felt, it was so much fun to watch. It was a universe you can get yourself lost in. I remember playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, the first thing I've done. That was the first exposure I got to Star Wars, was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a kid with my friend Eric. And I just fell in love with it. I started watching the movies from there. I started collecting. I have a medal of Yavin 4 upstairs, so like I'm really into it. I have like a whole shrine in my room.
Do you have the medal from Yavin that Wedge never got?
Wedge Antilles. Yeah, I have it.
I follow Wedge Antilles on Facebook. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. I was pretty much done. You're good.
If you follow Wedge Antilles on Facebook, it's just funny to me because it's just like the biggest thing about that is that Wedge never got his medal.
He kind of.
He's like one of the 3 people that survived. He should have gotten.
Let's just give him a moment of silence for Porkins.
Red leader standing by. Red 2 standing by.
Oh no, Porkins! Watch out! No!
So apparently, in the extended universe book, the Rogue Squadron one that I've always bring up, and I'll dwell into it more when my segment comes up. But apparently, there's an explanation on why Porkins couldn't pull up. It wasn't just no. It wasn't just a fat joke. Apparently, when you have X-wings, you have gravity adjusters, so it's so you don't. You can feel gravity when you're in space, so it kind of pushes down, so you're able to navigate without many issues.
Yeah.
And then when you go onto a planet in an X-wing, you can turn it off because you obviously have gravity and feel the pressure. He had it on the way on it and wasn't able to adjust it. So he was feeling full gravitational force.
Yeah, so he was pulling too many G's.
So in his mind, he was going down he was pulling up, but really he was pulling down because of the amount of gravitational force that was in his cockpit.
Interesting. So he was pulling too many G's and he just couldn't.
And he didn't know it.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. Come to think of it, they added literal physics to that whole explanation. Yeah, I like that.
But I'm glad for that little explanation because Wedge is, trying to go through his X-wing, think of the past mistakes friends has made, and it's kind of like surreal when you read that. And he goes into Porkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they explained how there was an exhaust port. And it was actually put there on purpose and not just because it was a plot point. Yeah, so, I mean, back to Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2, I had hours.
We're talking about the original one, not the remake. Not the remake by EA. We're talking about the original Lucasfilms adaptation.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. A timeless classic. If you have a PS2 or an original Xbox, you have to get that game. Part of your collection.
And like beyond the movies, like all the video games that they've released. Like,
at that point, oh my god, Knights of the Old Republic is one of the best point-and-click games ever.
I never really got into that.
I played a little bit of it, but the story is simply phenomenal. It is simply phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, I have both of them on Steam right now, but they're not optimized. They didn't age well, and they don't do well with Steam. Like, I'll play like 5 minutes into it, and all of a sudden, all the keys would unbind themselves. It's weird. Anyway, but yeah, like beyond like Star Wars Battlefront, we had the Lego Star Wars games. We'll
go into that one later.
Well, we had The Force Awakens, which still, in my opinion, is the best Jedi game ever so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's no Jedi lightsaber duels for the Wii, but we'll give it a pass.
It's also going on to my underrated game segment, which is a Star Wars game.
Yeah, I mean. What about that Star Wars Connect game they had where you can they had Dance Dance Revolution, you're a Han Solo. I'm riding solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
There's just some things we want to forget about in this world, and just sometimes you got to tell yourself it's okay, and it's not okay.
I loved
day by day it'll get better.
And then you had Rancor, Rampage, and shit, and all that good stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then Empire at War. That's what kind of got me into.
It's also Super Star Wars.
Shout out to Callan who fucking modded that to make it such an amazing game. He just focused on the space aspect of it.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I that game is what got me into grand strategy games. Like, I wouldn't have cared about Crusader Kings or any of that if it wasn't for Empire at War. And I played it recently, and it didn't age well. Like the space battles are still a lot of fun, but the land battles, they're extremely linear because the map is just one, like, it's just one path to the center. There's no like real strategy to it. But it's it was great for its time. I remember seeing it on the trailer for it on the Revenge of the Sith's special features. Well, Revenge of the Sith was I don't think it was on VHS. I think it might have been DVD at that point.
Really?
So when I saw Revenge,
I know Attack of the Clones was definitely on VHS.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you guys see Revenge of the Sith on in theaters?
I did.
Oh yeah, that was my first Star Wars.
I remember seeing it with my cousin John after he had bad sunburn.
Clone Wars with my dad. Sorry.
I remember seeing it with my cousin John, and he had really, really bad sunburn. I saw it with my grandparents. They took us.
How was
so it was
John's
pretty nice.
sunburn?
Huh?
Did it heal?
Did he ever recover?
Yeah, it's fine now. It was really, really bad. I don't want to go into the details.
I got sun poisoning on my face before. I know how bad that can be.
Yeah.
But
I got Montezuma's Revenge once.
Really?
Anyone doesn't know what that
every
is.
time you go to Mexico, something bad happens.
Oh yeah, I've had 3 different health related incidents in Mexico.
You gotta stop going.
I'm going again in June.
Somebody.
We're just gonna get a message, guys. Happened again.
Well,
I got robbed. I got abducted by the cartel.
I got Montezuma's Revenge by accidentally drinking the water, so I was shitting my brains out for a day. If you don't know what that is, if you drink Mexican like
well water,
tap water or well water, you'll get the shits. Are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm good. My computer's just reminding me how bad it is, but I'm still recording audio. You're good.
Okay.
All right. So moving on.
Well, so I want to. So I had Montezuma's Revenge, which is you get the shits from drinking Mexican well water. Then I was severely dehydrated.
Is this when you saw Star Wars?
No.
It's gonna tie into the podcast.
I'm waiting for this to tie into Star Wars.
Episode 5.
It all has to do with achieving your dreams.
Oh my god.
I don't.
That's
Skywalker. I want to talk about Revenge of the Sith in theaters because remember, like when Anakin goes to Padme at the end, and it's just like, and the thing is, because I was a kid, I didn't understand that there were grown fanboys like overreacting to how cheesy the movie is.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, Anakin just goes, "Together we will rule the galaxy," and you just hear, "Oh, come on!" Shout it.
I brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Your new empire.
Your new empire. If you're not with me, you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Which is an absolute.
Yeah.
I mean, look, George Lucas had his peak. I don't think it was during the prequels, but
look, I'll say this: you can insult the prequels all you want. In value of meme economy,
oh yeah,
it's so high.
Yeah, shout out to prequel memes, sequel memes, original series memes. The Empire did nothing wrong.
Yeah, God.
If you look at it, me and my friend Pat, shout out Pat O'Mahony, we like looking at Star Wars from a very different perspective. We like looking at it from the perspective that the Empire are the good guys, and that the rebels are nothing but uprisers that need to be suppressed. Yeah, and it's quite fun if you watch it from that perspective, because you just notice how much more incompetent the Empire were.
Yeah, I mean, the rebels were terrorists following a religion.
I mean, the rebels weren't following an ancient religion. They just used the Jedi for support.
Well, just Luke was one of their head.
Yeah, but they don't worship him.
I mean, they all say may the Force be with you before they go out to battle.
It's a good luck thing.
Okay.
You're a traitor.
Am I getting
you rebel
judged?
scum? Rebel scum.
You're not defending our boys in white.
I refuse to be judged by the propaganda machine that is the Empire. That's all I'm saying.
Empire's amazing. Come on, you detractor. You rebel scum.
Disgusting.
Look, I am just a moisture farmer on a dry planet. I
All right,
earn
then
my
you're gonna
paycheck.
get incinerated when your nephew goes out and becomes a Jedi.
Who didn't flush the toilet after having a shite?
What's that
me.
from?
Well, it's fucking one he is. Disgusting.
Austin Powers, right?
No, it's a
No?
video of
Fuck.
these two Scottish girls. They're like
Thought it was a fat
singing,
bastard line.
and their fucking big Scottish mom just barges into the room
Oh,
and goes,
stop.
and goes, "Who didn't flush the toilet after taking a fucking shite?"
I love Scottish memes so much. I mean, I stated
man.
on the podcast before because the last Pokemon is in England, so there's all these fucking...
Oh yeah, well, Pokemon's another day. But anyway, so to move on, in respect to Star Wars Day, we definitely need to talk about the Rise of Skywalker. First opinion here: the title blows.
Oh, I disagree.
on,
I completely disagree. At first I hated it, but then the more I thought about it, there's two ways. There's a few ways where they can go with it, so it has deeper meaning. I think it's kind of cheesy, but overall, it ties into the plot, which I do like.
All Star Wars titles are cheesy in their own way, though.
Well, think of it.
I
Awakens.
think the Rise of Skywalker is probably the worst one they've done. Now.
No, they're all cheesy. Like, I can't judge that as what's the most cheesy because they're all cheesy.
Because think of it, the Phantom Menace.
That's probably my.
But that has to do with
Empire
Darth
Strikes
Maul.
Back.
That's purely what the Phantom Menace has to do is with Darth. But it could also be exactly. It could also deal with Sidious as well. So that's where it goes two ways. So I think the Rise of Skywalker plays a similar thing, whereas it can mean two things.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it's not in. See,
am I ready to
how. I don't know
Lando
how.
inherits the gifts of Skywalker. That's the movie. The end.
No, it's Kylo Ren finds his true destiny as a Skywalker.
That's an interesting theory. That's the one I haven't heard yet.
What?
I hope Ray's not.
I'm shocked you haven't heard that one. That's the only thing Star Wars hasn't done is made a Sith Lord good again.
Because here's the problem with me.
What was Vader?
Redeemed, but not necessarily good.
I don't know. He about
died.
That one. Well, he died. He died fulfilling his destiny and bringing balance to the Force. So.
Doesn't make him good. Yet.
Did you ever see the book version of that? And
have you seen how they've completely like drawn out his character? Vader was fucking terrible.
But did you see Darth Vader's lament, where it was like the end of Return of the Jedi? It was in the book, and it was him talking to Obi-Wan as he's transferring his body, like his essence out, like the Force does.
Yeah.
And it's like they have a conversation that's kind of wholesome,
kind
of a neat little bow, but that's just me.
Okay, so what do you think of Darth Maul then?
Darth Maul?
Is Darth Maul good?
No. Why
All
would
right.
he be good?
Well, did you watch the end of Rebels? Did you watch his end in Rebels? When he's dying in Obi-Wan's arms, he goes, "How about the boys? He the chosen one? Yes, he will save us all." In that moment, he's on solitary with Obi-Wan. Does that mean he's a good guy?
I don't think that necessarily means that he.
That's just the answer to a question that he didn't know, but since he's dying,
yeah, and I don't think that acknowledges that
he said he will save them all. It's almost like a Darth Maul redemption moment.
No, he doesn't say save them all.
He said
he'll bring balance to the Force.
Well, no, he said he will. He said he will like. It's something to the degree that he will bring vengeance for us all, or like.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Well, then how is that not in solidarity with Ben Kenobi?
Well, because I don't think that's him necessarily agreeing that he should be on the light side of the Force. I think that's him agreeing with Obi-Wan that Sidious all messed them over. I don't think that's necessarily saying.
Well,
I agree with the light side.
But you can see my argument then that it could be solidarity with Maul. With Obi-Wan.
Balance to the Force is a very oddly interpreted phrase because, yeah, technically Anakin did by killing all of the Jedi.
Yeah. I mean, balance to the Force is only, according to the Jedi, it's only balanced when it's just Jedi.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's the same with the Sith, so, I mean... But my sister is currently watching it.
Tell me, is it the chosen one?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
We understood that. He
will avenge us. He will avenge us.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sith.
You're going to sit here and tell me that if he's going to say he will avenge us, he's not having a moment of realization?
No.
How?
I think he's just
Why would he want Luke to avenge him?
I think it's more of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing, where he doesn't necessarily not agreeing that Obi-Wan was like right in the way that he was being. I think he's just saying that like Sidious, like he royally messed up anyone that was in his path, including us two.
Maul is a bad guy with interesting motives, and that's why he's interesting as a character.
I still don't think
he has no good in him.
I still don't think Vader's completely good. Yes, he has a moment of redemption, but I wouldn't slate him as a good guy. Kylo Ren still has an opportunity to be slated as a good guy by the end of this film. That's the main point of the argument.
He's got to stop listening to Linkin Park.
Yeah.
You just see teen Kylo and like Luke walks up. Kylo, come down for dinner. Shut up.
I wanted to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters. Anyway,
Kylo, stop listening to that screaming music. You won't understand.
It's not a phase, Dad.
It's guttural vocals. It's not screamo.
Anyway,
Chester Bennington
please, for the love of God,
Chester Bennington was the Bob Marley of our generation.
All right, so moving on from the title and whether you like it or not, let's get to the content of the actual trailer.
Should I what? He was.
Well,
I'm joking.
Right. Well,
Bob Marley is
the Bob
legendary
Marley of Bob Marley's generation. Moving on.
But yeah, so we start with the trailer. We got Rey doing sprints, doing burpees.
Yeah, by the way, I'm calling that out because I'm tired of Kylo's fucking edgy shit. He would ruin a perfectly good shit.
Why does he just shoot her?
Exactly.
I don't know.
That would be too
barely
simple.
Skim the ground in a spaceship.
We don't know if it's Kylo. You just see his wrist. You only see his hands.
It's
Kylo.
It's a ship.
What I like is that Mark Hamill's voice is voicing over the whole thing.
Well, yeah, because we're gonna see like an Obi-Wan moment with
Imagine
Rey.
getting paid like a shit
Will it be Rey?
of dollars just to voice in a movie.
Will it be Rey or will it be Rey and Kylo?
Maybe both.
Who knows?
All right, but anyway, I can't imagine like why would you do that? Why would you just run somebody down on the ground on a space in a?
It's so cool. So for plot, so Rey could do the cool backflip thing. And yeah, I don't know how I guess she's going to just cut the engines.
It's 99% more likely that he just hits a rock and just skewers. Like a little rock that just protrudes a little bit up.
We established
and just
earlier.
Skewers into the ground.
We established earlier. We've played Battlefront. We know what happens when we accidentally collide into someone. We just blow up instantly because none of those fighters have any integrity.
One more thing. Yeah, looking at the trailer, can we see a return of Naboo?
God, I hope not.
Well...
Could we? Could we see Jar Jar?
Well, I think Jar Jar will probably be dead at that point because, I don't really
because they look like they're going to Naboo.
If we get Jar Jar back,
Jar Jar world,
that's bad. But so let's say Jar Jar was like young adult in Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
and then what? 20 years.
He was supposed to be like Luke age, like 18-ish.
Well, yeah.
He was inexperienced.
So then, like 20 years until Anakin turns to the dark side or so. And then another 30, right? 30 years? Is that how long it is between A New Hope
20 to 30, yeah.
Well, another thing you have to realize is he's
it would
not
probably
human.
Be about 20, I guess, because Luke is like...
Jar Jar isn't human, so they probably live very different lifespans.
Yeah, but I really don't think they're...
Also, it is canon. It is canon that Jar Jar is like a bum back on Naboo.
Yeah, he's a street performer because he's blamed for the rise of Palpatine.
Which is true.
I mean, he is. He elects him emergency powers. But,
to the Supreme Chancellor.
So we get that. We get Luke talking about how no one's ever really dead. Stuff like that. Kylo absolutely bodies some dude in the forest.
Yep.
Which doesn't really show much, but then
he repairs his mask.
Was that what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of glad because I was kind of another thing with, The Last Jedi.
And then who do we fucking see? Fucking Billy D. Williams, baby.
Hell yeah.
Lando fucking Calrissian.
I kind of wish he was back a little earlier.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
bar.
Because unlike Han Solo, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
But Billy D. Williams wanted so badly to be back as Han Solo.
Well, what
Lando.
did he really do after Star Wars or before Star Wars?
Advertising.
Really? I don't really know him
There
too well.
is, like I was about to say, I'm laughing because it's my favorite part of that bar. There's like an old dive bar in Woodbury, and in the corner, lit up, is a Billy D. Williams advertising Colt beer, and it's just for the best of times, and you can hear it in his it's even just a picture, but I can hear him saying it.
Christ.
God, that Lando laugh.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name? Who played Lando in Solo?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
No, it's Childish Gambino.
Have you ever noticed they're never in the same room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love him in Community. I know it's a sidetrack, but it's my favorite line of him is like, he pulls up in a deflated raft. He's like, "You can yell at me all you want. I know for a fact from cartoons that if you pop the back of a raft, it'll go faster."
Christ. Well, yeah, I mean, he tried his best to do Billy D. Williams.
No, that was phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, no. I will say that he did a great job in that.
I think he kind of faded in and out of Billy D. accents, in my opinion.
I did like a couple games of a Star Wars Pathfinder. It's basically Star Wars D&D.
Yeah.
And of course, I wanted to be a smuggler.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how cocky I could be with the stereotype, but I was just a horrible smuggler because my end goal was to be famous.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you can't be a famous smuggler. But like, I would have like a weekly podcast and like shout out my episodes to the Empire. And this was before Solo came out.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, when Solo came out, I was dying because half our characters were in Solo. There was a robot who wanted droid rights. And you know when Lando's like in the middle of that heist and he's picking up like the fuel crystals? It's just like part 5 of the Calrissian Chronicles. And he's like just like seat up describing it like he's on a podcast. I'm leaning back because it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dying because I'm just like, this is literally the campaign I was in.
Now, apparently Billy D. Williams was very pleased with how Donald Glover played him, his character. He was very, very happy with it.
Maybe I'm just too critical.
And apparently, Donald Glover had a conversation.
You're a sci-fi fan. It comes with the
Yeah.
Donald Glover had some sort of conversation with Billy D. Williams and was like, "How should I play Lando?" And he's like, "Come on, man, just like be me, be smooth. It's all about being smooth."
Silky smooth.
I love Billy D. Williams. So, what did we think for the rest of the
All right,
trailer?
so we see Lando, and then they're on that like water world, and then
Camino.
It's not
It's
Camino.
probably Naboo.
I don't know, because it's really kind of, we'd never really see Naboo with that much like stormy and like
it was underwater.
Displeasantly.
I want to look at the lore.
It looked
Whatever
underwater.
happened to Camino?
I mean, it was taken over by the Empire. It was kind of shut down after the Empire
it
came
was
out, 'cause
just
they
a
didn't
droid.
make any more clones.
It was
it was a
clone
Battlefront
facility.
mission. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they did, the droids eventually did attack, but, like, that was more at the end of the war.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't know what, I mean, it was shut down after the Empire took over, but I don't really, like, know what happened.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the Empire really didn't have the best, best philosophy when it came to aliens.
Yeah, no, they didn't. But also they realized that clones from multiple sources are better than having clones from one, and that's kind of how they evened out their numbers even more.
Well, yeah, and they also just did massive recruiting.
Yeah.
Like, across the Empire. But, yeah, so we see them do the reversal shot of them coming up on the cliff, and we see a disc that is confirmed to be the second Death... Is it the second Death Star, or is it supposed to be the first one?
Well, if it's the first one, they're on Yavin.
Well, yeah, but you know it was so the Rebel base was on Yavin 4, so that means there's also at least 3 other moons.
All right, Yavin 4.
Yavin is the
'cause
gas
it was Death Star
giant.
2. It was on the moon of Endor, which is
Yeah. Also, little thing. So Endor definitely was torched after the Death Star blew up because of all the debris falling down, like the massive forest fires and the battle that was ensuing the entire time.
And then you got to realize a planet that's literally all forest is just so much oxygen and like. Oh,
yeah,
God.
and then because you have a at least the Death Star was probably almost as big as Endor, so that's like a planet's worth.
Did you play Battlefront, the most recent Battlefront?
Yeah, I know it's torched, but like
Endor.
Which I mean, there's fire everywhere. There was an entire map that was just like basically on fire.
Really, I don't remember that. I remember getting off of Endor in the beginning of the game and just nothing happening.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of debris everywhere, so like that has to go somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't want to.
There was actually a video on it on YouTube about what happens to Endor post. It was more of like a scientific like what would happen, not so much canon.
Oh, well, we'll see. I mean,
well, so I mean we're on this water world. I mean it's definitely gonna be explained because it has to be close. Mm-hmm. Like unless they're saying that it drifted light years to somehow land on another planet.
My money's on Naboo.
I mean, I wouldn't dismiss that.
But why would it get all the way to Naboo?
Space is a magical.
Oh no, I thought we were talking
thing.
about the water world.
Well, so I mean, unless they're saying someone towed the dish to whatever planet. I mean, because then
God,
it ends.
Fucking guy.
Then it ends with Palpatine's laugh. We get Sidious's laugh,
which is fucking amazing.
Well, yeah. So that and then I'm pretty sure Abrams confirmed that it is Sidious that he's coming back. So
I hope it's not expanded universe, or they're taking it from it. That'd be interesting because this is the body of another person.
The cloning vats and stuff.
I wish.
Or
I hope not.
I would kind of rather it to be a ghost representation.
Yeah,
because
at one point he goes into a baby, and another famous Force user at that point was just like, no.
No,
but I would love to see Sidious because we already know Hayden Christensen's build.
Yeah, so we get
very big.
Okay, all of the Last Jedi's crimes against the series will be completely resolved if we get a ghost Hayden Christensen fighting a ghost Sidious.
What about if we get a ghost Ewan McGregor as well? We have to.
Yeah, but
Ewan has been vocal that he wants to go back.
Going to be in it though?
I think he will. He hasn't announced anything yet, but he's like been really like he's wanted to do it.
I'll be honest about the preview.
He loved his role in Star Wars. He loved being Obi-Wan.
Contrary to the actual Obi-Wan who hated being in the first A New Hope.
Oh yeah, but Alan
McGinnis made money.
Yeah, but Alec Guinness was smart enough to take profits from the movie and not just a straight percentage. He's still probably one of the richest people, probably before the new saga came out.
Posthumously.
Yeah, he was probably one of the more higher profited actors.
He was also knighted at that point.
Yeah, Sir Alec Guinness.
Does he actually have any relation to the
beer? Probably not.
I mean, if he did, he would not have done Star Wars.
You never know.
He would have taken over the distillery.
He was. I mean, naughty as hell.
brewery.
I think he wrote a letter to somebody to America that he.
In all seriousness, George Lucas didn't see the movie succeed in any way.
Yeah.
So.
But it was just funny because he's just like, do you know this guy, Harold? Hector Ford.
So looking at it,
Harrison Ford.
So I'm looking at the clip more closely of the Death Star.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like the Death Star 2 because obviously it wouldn't be over Yavin because Yavin was more of a desert world.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't. Yavin was a gas giant. It was the moons around it that they were on it.
Wait, so what am I thinking? No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so Yavin was a gas giant. I mean, Endor was also a moon.
They weren't on Dantooine.
Dantooine.
They're on
Dantooine. They made an actual
Dantooine is too remote of a location to have a rebel outpost for you to have your rebel base.
Who was that?
That was Grand Moff Tarkin when she was
nothing like him.
Well, okay, I'm not Grand Moff Tarkin over here. Like I'm not.
Sorry,
I'm not a CGI version. Evidently, he didn't wear like the pants to the costume the entire time of the movie, and that's why it's only.
He's only from the waist up. Oh yeah. No, it wasn't the pants. It was the wearing
boots.
Slippers.
With the boots were
So it is funny watching that movie, just picturing him with fucking loafers walking around.
Yeah. I just like to think it's canon that like he's blowing up, Alderaan while he's in fuzzy slippers. Yeah, and then
but Alderaan would be a. Yeah, no, I'm not doing the impression because then you're gonna make fun of me about that. Haha.
Well, you also had the guy playing Vader that would break all the lightsaber props because he was swinging them too hard.
Any person with a lightsaber would
Isn't
have
he?
broken the lightsaber.
I heard that he's banned from Star Wars event conventions and stuff.
Who, the actual guy who played Vader?
Yeah, because he was mad that he didn't voice him.
Really?
It could be completely wrong, but I've always been told that.
You're not talking about James Earl Jones. You're actually talking about the man in it.
The guy playing, the guy who is in the costume.
Brendan actually has an autograph from him. In a very nice photo. I can't remember his name. Shoot. Oh my god, I'm gonna blank on that. Can you look that up? Sure. The actual actor in the Vader suit.
Well, there's multiple because the one in the New Hope didn't come back because he hated George Lucas.
Yeah, well,
Dave Prowse.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, so we and that's how the trailer ends. I see we had Endgame come out and I was they definitely released it to coincide with Endgame's release so they could have it playing in the theaters. I don't know another major, maybe Lion King. When that comes out, we'll probably get an actual trailer instead of a teaser.
Mm-hmm. Even though no one's gonna see Lion King, but
I'll probably still see it. I mean,
no one saw Dumbo.
Well, Dumbo didn't do well. Actually, it got
essentially the first time we're not doing box office, so we actually can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, Dumbo was hovering around a 50%, which is low for Disney. That's really low. But anyway, I mean, I don't really understand why that happened. I didn't see the movie either.
It's because no one's just like, oh yeah, the remake. Lion King isn't going to do well either.
I think it's going to do better than Dumbo.
It'll do better than Dumbo.
Well, it's a very low bar,
but not very, very successful.
Well, The Jungle Book did well, and they also, what was the other live action
Mowgli?
they did? Mowgli was Netflix.
Is it similar to The Jungle Book or no?
I mean, it's of the same ilk, but The Jungle Book is Disney. I mean, it's based off another book that Disney adapted.
You can't get everything right. It's okay.
Yeah, you never know.
But back to Star Wars. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so who knows when we're gonna get another trailer to finally solidify what. I hope they don't show Sidious in a trailer. I want it to kind of be up in the air.
I definitely want that to be the biggest surprise. I would rather see.
It's kind of like Ghost Yoda.
I would rather see Kylo Ren holding a blue lightsaber than see Sidious. To be honest with you, because that even seeing Kylo Ren with a blue lightsaber would raise so many questions.
If Disney can hide the plot to Rise of Skywalker as well as they did Endgame,
they didn't though.
I mean, we're not going to get into Endgame because Sisto hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, please.
But the trailer, they really kind of masked what the plot was eventually.
Yeah, no, you're right about the trailer. If they find any leaked film footage or something like that. And then just everybody.
Well, yeah, you still have people.
You can't help that.
Data mining and looking for spoilers.
I'm not going to tell you anything. It's just.
Yeah, I feel uncomfortable talking about Endgame right now.
We see it tonight, right?
See it tomorrow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the most recent incarnation.
Ooh.
So have you guys played it?
Yeah, no, I thought you meant the original, and that's what we were going to talk about.
So
no, we're talking about the new
one.
Beyond...
Camera off, mic off.
No, definitely on the itinerary. I wanted to talk about the new one.
No, go ahead. I played it too.
If I want to be honest,
as well.
Offline play, you play the offline mode for like 2 hours, like a month. No, bot play.
Yeah,
like team deathmatch or starfighter killer base war, something like that.
Yeah,
the maps, playing around with it, or even playing Onslaught, because Onslaught's a little bit more open world. It's so much fun. I enjoy it. It's an escape. You're getting yourself into the world. It's immersion. You get to play as any of the heroes, regardless of how they're making you buy it. Online play fucking sucks.
Oh, it did.
I hate it. You have to grind to get the new heroes. You have to play so many hours just to play as Obi-Wan Kenobi or Anakin Skywalker. However, they did make well on the original release. The updates that they've released for the game have made the game substantially better, to where I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Well, I just want to say that probably my only complaint is probably just a really like minute nerd complaint is I don't like how you can play as every villain and hero from every generation in like
any map.
That was an original Battlefront 2.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, the heroes and villains matches in Tatooine.
Well, the heroes and villains, but not like if you played like the Hoth battle, you couldn't play as Darth Maul.
Yeah, if you played Geonosis, you could play as either.
It was Obi-Wan and probably Grievous.
No, it was
or Dooku.
It was Mace Windu.
Was it?
It was either Mace Windu, Obi-Wan against Grievous or Dooku.
It was probably Dooku.
There actually was a famous or a semi-viral video came out because once Grievous came out for the new one and Obi-Wan came out for the new one, apparently they were fighting on a Kashyyyk map, and they met each other and nobody fought either of them. They actually just watched the Grievous Obi-Wan battle. Like people were just standing aside and watching it, and I thought that was actually great.
Yeah.
Real recognizes real, man.
Yeah, it's always kind of cool seeing those videos where it's like, especially in like Battlefield and Battlefront, where like people just they stop fighting just to watch something happen. Well, like I saw one for it was Battlefield 1 where a guy was laying on the ground and a tank rolls up and aims the cannon at him, and like he like shakes the controller back and forth, so he looks like he's saying
and the
no.
Tank goes, and
the tank nods and then goes away. But that's completely off topic. But
I just like Sisto's face right now. He's just like,
yeah.
But yeah, so Battlefront 2, and we had the issue with loot boxes because EA is still EA.
God fucking.
How did you feel about the story?
Me?
Yeah,
I liked it.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was short. I mean, I liked it, but
the epilogue is kind of what because I spent like 10 hours playing the game because I took my time.
Yeah,
I 10 hours playing the game, which is way too long. It's like it's like a 7 hour game.
Less even. I beat that game in a day, less than a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. However, the epilogue was like, I really just played 10 hours gameplay of this. I'm fucking exhausted. I don't want to play any more of this game.
Yeah.
I don't. And so I just stopped. And then, like, God knows what happens in the epilogue for me.
Well, the epilogue, so let me think. So, who's the main
Eden
character's
Versio.
name? Eden? Is that
Iden Versio, yeah.
No.
Is it Eden or Iden?
Iden Versio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, whatever. She grows old with the other person
and then he gets killed by Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he gets killed by the other. Oh. Yeah, he's part of the First Order now. He gets shot in the head.
I forget who the actor that played him was actually well known.
Well, then, so like, it's you didn't like track down one of the ships or something. It leads up to The Last Jedi because they end up on.
No, it leads up to The Force Awakens.
No, it leads up to The Last Jedi.
Oh, Force Awakens.
Well, whatever it is, they end up on the planet that they're evacuating in The Force Awakens, or no, in The Last Jedi.
Paul Blackthorne from Arrow.
From Arrow?
Yes, he played Lieutenant Lance.
That's
so my biggest complaint, my biggest complaint about Battlefront 2 was I honestly wanted them to improve on Starfighter and Starship battles.
Mm-hmm.
I want space. For the love of fucking God, it's a Star Wars game. You have the technology, you have the resources. Make a goddamn Star Wars game.
Yeah,
I don't think...
Star Wars space game. Excuse me.
Yeah, and they did improve on it. I mean, I thought the space battles were fun. They definitely weren't.
They were fun. They were fun to play. It's just it needs a big push in order for it to be.
And that's never going to happen with EA.
It pisses me off so much.
What I don't like about EA is they think they can amend everything with giant patches. Look at Anthem. It sucks. Yeah. And they think that they can release unfinished games and just make it all better over time. They're now playing a work in progress.
They're now doing that with Apex. So Apex is it's owned by EA, but it's published by a different company.
I'm actually surprised considering
the guys who made Titanfall do it.
Well, so they said they're only going to be releasing patches every few months, and there's still game breaking. There's a character named Pathfinder, because the characters are varying in sizes, so their hitboxes are differently, are constructed differently. And there's one named Pathfinder who's a robot that shoots a zip line, and he's a skinny kind of robot. and his hitbox is really small for his frame. And there's also an issue with bullet registration where you could be shooting the guy and it doesn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
And so this character Pathfinder is having a lot of issues, and they say they released a content update with a new character, but didn't fix any of the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know if it's game ending because it's free to play.
Yeah, it's one thing if you pay $60 for an unfinished game, but if you're doing a free to play, you kind of let those things slide. But but anyway, today, Junior. But anyway, Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's not going to age well. The game's not going to age well. For casual gameplay.
It's got like 50 players on it now.
It actually has quite a few. It's actually
really?
very rambunctious. Yeah. Like I played it on PS4 and it's really rambunctious.
The PC population's pretty high.
Yeah. Well, the PC Master Race doesn't have time for Star Wars Battlefront.
No, I'm saying that it's actually pretty high.
Oh, you think?
Because there's a modding aspect to that.
Well, anyway, I find enjoyment in it, but for casual gameplay, and I think that's where I'll leave it at personally.
Yeah.
The combat system, if you're just playing as a regular trooper, is very limited. You don't have a variety of weapons. Like, they could have literally, Star Wars Battlefront can add guns into that, and no one would think twice about it.
Yeah.
No one would think twice. But you have like 3 assault rifles, like 3 different heavy weapons, like 3 pistols. Like, it's very limited, and it's not fun to use.
I don't know. In Star Wars, I don't know, gun options were never a priority because it's Star Wars. I mean, they do have some range, but not a wide amount. I mean, I'm glad in the first Battlefront they acknowledged black powder weapons, which were actually used in Star Wars.
Which were they like just gunpowder?
No, it was gunpowder, and some people actually preferred it because it can't be seen, like it can't be detected by like a lightsaber or something like that. So assassins prefer it over lasers.
Yeah.
So that was the concept.
Well, that was in. Have any of you guys played Republic Commando?
No.
I have it on here.
I loved it. It was a lot of fun. But there's a mission. So it starts out with Geonosis, the whole Geonosis battle, and then there's one where there's an SOS from a deserted Republic ship, and you go on there. It's completely deserted, and it's a ghost ship, and it's taken over by Trandoshans, which is what the reptilian species of one of the bounty hunters that was looking after Han.
Yeah.
But they have shotguns that are designed to look like gunpowdered weapons, but they're plasma. But like the main character, his name is Boss.
Yeah.
He's just like, is that a slug thrower? And I was just like, what the fuck's a slug thrower? And then I realized, shotgun slugs. But yeah. Anyway,
I just want somebody to go mental about the fact that a gun exists in Star Wars. It's like, you mean I can hurl metal and kill somebody instead of using a laser?
Yeah.
You mean
lasers are also much more efficient in that world.
My gun can explode and shoot metal at you?
Yeah, probably do better with their. I mean, plasma cuts through. It seems like everyone's armor like it's nothing in that universe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what's the point of even having it? But, and personally, I think Battlefront 1 was better than Battlefront 2 in the EA verse.
I think
no,
it was not.
Really?
It was very limited. That's what
limited. Yeah.
Everyone, I would say Battlefront 2 is good on the basis that it's extensive, comparatively speaking to Battlefront 1.
Battlefront 2, in measure of disappointment, I was so severely disappointed with 1.
Mm-hmm. That
2, I guess because I was expecting trash that ended up being okay.
I expected something grand and like very grandiose, and I played it and I was like,
I don't know. I really felt like it was a pretty good representation of a Battlefront, like a Star Wars battle. Like, I really felt like I was like in the trenches of Hoth, like with the AT-ATs.
Yeah, no, so was I. Hoth was exciting.
Really
Remember when the beta came out and everybody was excited about it?
Yeah. And then they had Tatooine and then Endor and stuff. Like, I thought that was a lot of fun, but
but the second game has all those aspects too. If
it's
not
different,
just a little
though.
bit more. You can play the game the way you want to play it.
Yeah, and then because like
you're gonna get killed a lot.
In the first Battlefront, the players like tried their best to destroy the AT-ATs, whereas in Battlefront 2, people were going for mostly kills. They're not playing objective until like it gets to that point where it's like capture the command post more gameplay than like fight the walkers. And it's just, I don't know. It's
Yeah. I think that aspect could have used a little work, but you live and you learn, I guess. Where in EA's case, you just live.
Which, I mean, that moves on to the new Star Wars game they announced.
Yes. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did get a trailer of it.
I want to be hopeful.
Yeah.
I heard it's going to be like a Souls-based game. Like, it's going to be it's going to be open, level-based platform.
Like, EA said that, open world, no loot boxes, just a single-player experience.
They said that about Battlefield 5, though.
Yeah, and I said, my thing is exactly what the Mace Windu meme is. If anything, if what you said is true, you will earn my trust. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I want to see gameplay. I want to critique it more.
Yeah. So I mean, we got the trailer. It's of a Force user. Don't know if he was a Jedi because it seems like it's early into the Empire's.
Well, it's confirmed he's a Padawan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's pretty early into the Empire's reign.
It takes place right after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, because he's being tracked down by a Sith Inquisitor.
Yes. I actually have an article pulled up, so any question you have, I can pretty much answer.
Yeah, so he's being tracked down by a Sith Inquisitor. Maybe we'll get ties into Rebels, because that was their whole thing in Rebels.
I think we will, but if anything, it will be like Kanan Jarrus that'll be referenced.
Yeah. Well, Go ahead.
Continue. I don't think the kid from Lothal, I forget his name already, Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
I don't think Ezra will get mentioned because he comes pretty further down the road.
I'll be completely for if they bring in some of the TV show characters into their games. Like, it'd be cool if like somehow in that game we encounter Ahsoka, or
that'd be nice.
If I didn't watch Rebels, I didn't really have a way to do it, and now it's going to be on Disney Plus's platform.
I don't know if I'm going to do it. Disney Plus is so tempting right now.
I think I'm going to buy into it.
I will. $6.99 a month. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
For all the content you're getting all the Marvel movies. All the Marvel movies alone is worth $6.99 a month. The rewatch value on those is phenomenal.
Plus Hawkeye.
And then you got the Loki and Falcon show.
Really?
Isn't
they're
that
making
a thing?
a show with Loki?
No, they're doing no.
Isn't it Loki
they have
and
one
Hawkeye?
for Loki. They have one for Hawkeye. They have one for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wait, Loki's getting a show.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Loki's getting a show. Tom Hiddleston's confirmed for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sisto is just so wide-eyed.
No, because he's my favorite character in that whole universe.
All right, well, let's not get into it.
Anyway.
But
yes. Fuck yeah, baby. I'm Jack, baby. Jack to the tits!
But so
Ryan Reynolds from Big Short, by the way.
So you got the trailer. He's like outed as a Force user because he saves his friend from like a collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like he was like a indentured worker, and he's like, it was almost like he was trying to conflict with like I can't do it. I can't do it, but he has to
because he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
But then he's like tracked down by that Inquisitor and stuff happens, and we didn't really get gameplay. I'll wait until gameplay to actually have an idea. But I hope if we get the Force Awakens type gameplay with RPG elements, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. I hope it's like a Fable-esque kind of experience where you have free reign to roam the world, but it's also guided to an extent. It's also rather guided.
Kind of like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, I would say that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and that, I'm completely on board if they do that,
but exactly,
it's still EA, so
I think they need to start listening to their fans.
It's not going to happen until they lose money.
They're not. That's the thing. They're not losing money.
And that's that. Give it a few years when people stop paying attention to it, when their fan. But that's the thing. They're never going to have people that just completely write them off because they're going to have all the Madden people, all of the FIFA. Is 2K
right.
Is 2K
no, that's its own thing.
Okay, So they just have Madden then.
Madden and FIFA. FIFA is the highest selling game in the world.
Despite being openly outed as being a reskinned version of each year.
Yeah.
Openly outed, yet people still buy it.
It's a loot that is the loot crate game is FIFA. People buy into that game like it's nobody's business. Some people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy like these packs to just get good players for FIFA Ultimate Team. It is like a lifestyle almost. Yeah. So yeah, EA. I think EA.
I remember that video of that guy on FIFA that unlocked Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, he punches his TV.
And he punches his TV.
Yeah.
But Respawn, I feel like isn't Respawn the people that did what did they do? What game did they do that was
Anthem.
really good? No. They didn't do Anthem.
Did they do Apex?
Oh, they did Destiny.
Destiny?
Yeah.
Was it? I didn't play Destiny.
Because I saw somebody's tweet says like, yeah, Respawn, one of the best makers of a linear based game, is making an open world game. Whereas,
and they also putting BioWare on.
Yeah, BioWare made one of the best linear story game, one of the best open world. I forget what it was. I guess Respawn's really well known for making open world games, and they got made for a singular game. I think it's just getting people a lot.
Because BioWare did all the Knights of the Old Republic games, and Mass Effect.
Yep.
Those are the two that I'm thinking of.
I miss it. But what we really need is like a Star Wars style JRPG that just has like barely any canon reference. I feel like that would get a lot of people excited. Like a Final Fantasy-esque Star Wars game that's not on mobile. That's
completely its own canon type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something that's just for the lore, just to get you immersed in a.
Well, I mean, they have. They can go like you'd be like 3,000 years into the future of 3,000 years after the Battle of Yavin, and like you just pick up just like randomly and be like, this is what's happening.
Yep.
Like they did that in the comics and stuff, and like they did with the Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to buy it. I might pre-order it.
I don't trust. Well, so GameStop. Well, no, GameStop now has that policy that if you don't like a game, if you pre-order a game, you don't like it, you can return it in 2 days. I mean, it's taken them this long. It's taken them the entirety of No Man's Sky and like Mass Effect, Andromeda, Anthem, to finally get it that people want something like this. But
hey, look, Steam does it.
Yeah, it does.
No, Steam does it. Yeah, no, I was great.
Oh, I thought you said yeah, but Steam's refunds they well, speaking of No Man's Sky, when No Man's Sky came out, so Steam has the policy that if you play over 2 hours, they don't give you a refund.
Yeah.
But they said they completely like wiped the slate with it. They're like, we don't care how much you put into it, how many achievements you got. If you got No Man's Sky, didn't like it, you can return it. I don't know if it's still now. It still is now.
It's a shame. That's another one of those. If post patch was released first, people would have liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, if it is what it is now, it would have done.
Yeah. So moving on, we're gonna move on from a bad game to a particularly good series of games made by LucasArts rather. I think you guys know where I'm going, right?
There hasn't been an Indiana Jones game.
It's fucking Lego Star Wars time, baby. Lego fucking Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. They actually did make an Indiana Jones game.
They did.
It was like
they actually teased it in Lego Star Wars: A Complete Saga by making Indiana Jones a playable character.
I do have Lego Star Wars on Xbox. That completes.
And then when you unlocked it, when you beat the whole story, you get to go into this little options game or options area, and you get to watch the Indiana Jones trailer, and that's how they revealed it.
That's cool.
Yeah, but Lego Star Wars, probably like overall the easiest. Like some of the best games.
That's the first Lego type game of the Lego
franchise
series.
Lego. Yeah, they had like Lego Racer.
Yeah, they had other Lego games, but
exactly, but nothing to the caliber of Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Star Wars started like everything for like Lego DC villains, Lego DC Universe, Lego Marvel. That was all paved by Lego Star Wars, and Lego Star Wars was just so much fun. It's a game that you could it never got old. You can play with whatever you wanted, whoever you wanted. there was so much replay value because you have to go and find the bricks and all that to complete the challenges. It involved you critically thinking. Like, as a kid growing up, playing that game definitely, like, it was a lot of fun. Like, I nearly 100%ed it. So, for me to do that, it was pretty big.
Yeah, and we got the meme of Yoda's death noise. Yeah, that's been making its rounds of Yoda being used in different memes. But yeah, Lego Star Wars, it was. So did they do the prequels first? Was that the first Lego Star Wars?
They started off with the prequels, and like the hub was that diner from Episode 2.
Yeah, it was Rex's Diner.
Rex's Diner, and then they did the original trilogy, which released for Xbox 360, PS3, PS2, PS3, and PSP. That released for,
and probably GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube as well.
And then so that was probably coinciding with
the complete
Revenge
saga
of the Sith, right? It had to be. So Revenge of the Sith was 2007.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, it came out the original Lego Star Wars came out right after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, because I think it was to coincide with the movie, because that was its big thing. Like, you could do the Mustafar battle.
Mm-hmm.
Another Star Wars
hard fucking level, by the way.
Another Star Wars game that I want to bring up real quick is, you guys ever played the Revenge of the Sith game?
No.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It gets a lot of shit.
Yeah, but I had a blast.
No pun intended.
Well, because everybody playing is just like, oh well, the physics are off, and I'm just like, it's the closest
Star Wars game.
So far.
Did you see The Last Jedi? They had bomber planes.
Yeah.
So don't talk about physics with Star Wars. But anyway, yeah. So, the Revenge of the Sith movie game was a lot of fun, because a lot of movie game tie-ins
they
suck.
Yeah.
Haven't really been made that often anymore.
What? Because they suck.
Well, maybe for like kids' movies though.
Yeah. The only one.
Well, mostly it kind of moved on to like mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
But
mobile games is the new cancer of the gaming industry. But
so you want to? I don't know. I love Lego Star Wars. I feel like, I don't know. It's part of the experience, honestly.
Yeah, and you could play as Jar Jar.
Why would you though? He could only jump. It was the only thing you could do with Jar Jar is he jumped the highest.
Young Anakin's only ability was to crawl in small places.
Yeah, but that was useful.
Yeah, and in the pod racing scene was fun. That's one thing with the Star Wars Lego Star Wars games, is that the scenes that like had space battles and stuff, they were always fun.
Yep.
So you had the pod racing scene for Phantom.
I remember going back and just playing that race for a recreational use. Like,
yeah. And then you had the Tuskens shooting at you and stuff.
It was done so well.
Yeah, they did
so much fun.
They also did the Battle of Coruscant for Revenge of the Sith. And then I don't remember what they did for Attack of Clones. Was it them chasing down Boba or Django?
I don't quite remember. I haven't played the game in a while.
It's only me. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, because they didn't really have too much. I mean, they had the chase scene with Django.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really sure if they made that into like a racing thing. Because they had that, or they could have done something with Geonosis, but I don't remember. But
very good series of games.
Yeah,
Complete Saga was definitely the highlight of that whole thing. When they bashed them up all together, that was just like boom.
Oh yeah,
that's what you got to do.
Did they ever? They made one for
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
They didn't make one with Last Jedi. Probably a good idea.
Well, I could see them doing it after, because they did a bunch of Marvel movies, Marvel ones.
Yeah.
And then I can see them doing it for like once the Skywalker saga quote unquote ends, which I doubt, by the way. But
really,
yeah,
you doubt that? Interesting.
Look,
agree to disagree on that one.
They've done it 2 times at this point. Like they said, Return of the Jedi, that was it. No more Star Wars. They said at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and now they're saying it at the end.
Weren't those George Lucas's words though?
Yeah, but still.
But then Disney bought them out. And, Disney's not good with keeping promises.
I think Disney's pretty reliable.
Disney destroyed everything LucasArts made before that just to make their own interpretation of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Any book you bought before Disney bought that out is worthless information.
And this was the last episode. Many last episodes, because I've recommended this book series multiple times already.
The Legend series has some of the best literature I've ever read.
Yeah. But then The Escapist, it's a game review, like Zero Punctuation is part of that.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and there's another one, I think.
With like Yahtzee and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one called like Bob's something. And he critiqued the EU because it's just like, yeah, there's really good stories and then there's some really bad, but I'm just like, okay, there's still a lot more content that's good than what's out in Star Wars EU right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently, there's something that just came out, which got a lot of controversy. Apparently, there was a issue released from the view of like a med nurse on the Death Star.
Dr. Aphra?
No. Apparently, this woman has a love obsession with Darth Vader.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, I just read it today. I didn't actually read the comic. I read an article on the comic, and she's just like, she has these fantasies of just taking his mask off, and like it's funny
Those
because
people definitely exist in real life. So.
She approaches him, and just says we can be together, and then he just like sticks a lightsaber in her, and then just says, "Can you please take this garbage out of my room?"
I fucking love that though.
It is.
That's very Vader.
It just has a lot of controversy. I don't know what to make of it because
if you know, I think
what's the controversy about it? It played Vader's character.
The controversy is that this woman mentally unstable because that's what she's portrayed as.
Oh my god!
Which is definitely a possibility.
But the thing is, the writer said no, she's kind of the heroine in the comic, and I'm just like, what? You're not portraying.
Yeah,
her
it
like
definitely
that.
is like a stereotype, like obsessive.
Yeah, I was just like either. And it's not like I'm criticizing it if it was. I'm criticizing if it wasn't. I'm just like, I don't know. I reading the excerpts I read, it was very odd. It was insanely odd.
One thing I will give Disney though, the new books they've released, like Tarkin, Thrawn, which was the rebranding of the Thrawn trilogy, was kind of weird. Even shoot, who's the yellow person again? Not yellow, the chrome person again. I forget. Captain Phasma.
Oh.
Even the Phasma book, they were all like really good, really well done. Even the solo book by Daniel Jose Alder, pretty good. I own it in hardcover. I was excited to read it. It's really good. So one thing I'll give Disney's new creative content area and the books they're doing, they're not that bad, but you can't compare them to the old ones, kind of. So it's just kind of bittersweet, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, well, do you guys think Phasma is going to have any big role? Because she's never... Like, they played Phasma, like, as almost like a Boba Fett. Actually, now that I think about it, I think
she is
Phasma is a Boba Fett fill-in.
No, because she's directly affiliated with the First Order. Whereas Boba Fett was a bounty hunter.
I'm not saying that she's...
in the essence of... like
that she's the background character. They're trying to be the cool one.
Boba Fett had less than what? Like, what was it? Like,
it's
less
he's
than
not
50
worth.
words?
He's not.
Boba Fett also had a built-in backstory.
Doesn't mean anything to me if he's dead. I think that's his only line. Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
one of them.
He has less than a dozen words in the film. He's one of the most sold dolls when Empire came out.
Yeah, and he had that rocket backpack that made children choke to death.
One thing about Boba Fett is Disney did a good job of revamping his backstory when they did take over. And so did Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So Boba Fett and Jango Fett alike are both well documented as to their personalities and character development. Yeah. One thing with Phasma is they have been doing that. The Phasma book goes very into her character development. It is actually one of like the best out of all of them. It goes into how like she is probably the most evil person in the First Order.
Really?
Yeah. That's how that book portrayed her. They made her like a menace. So
she's
I think
barely in the movies anymore.
Well, that's because she's supposed to be a background character, like you said. Just supposed to be basically like Finn's counterpart. Like, it's supposed to be Finn's enemy.
Yeah, and it compares to Django too, because, or not Django. No, it is Boba Fett.
Boba
Fett. I'm
Boba,
sorry.
yeah.
It does parallel to Boba Fett because the amount of shit on Boba and Django Fett, and it gave depth to something that's not in the movies.
I would actually compare Captain Phasma's role more to Jabba the Hutt's role when you think about it, because you see Finn is more of a Han Solo-ish character where he's just there, like along for the ride. So is Finn,
like a merge
Finn's,
of the two,
exactly. And Finn is directly feuding with Captain Phasma in a sense that wherever they meet, it's like on site. Whereas Jabba the Hutt is really out for Han Solo the whole movie, like every movie. So you see that even though Jabba does die in, I think, Empire, right? Or was it the beginning of Return of the Jedi?
He dies in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. So you see something similar with Phasma, whereas Phasma's going after Finn because he's a detractor. Yeah. And, all detractors must die. So what she's doing is she's going after Finn. She's trying to kill him, but then it looks like Finn bests her, just like Han seemed to best Jabba in the fourth movie.
She falls into like a pit or something, and
she was on the Starkiller base.
No, she was in The Last Jedi too.
Yeah, I know. And that's
she's
and
like
she
into a pit or some shit.
Something like that. It was really it's like a mashup of the two, like you said. I don't think she's dead. I hope she's not dead.
I don't think she is either.
I think you need a true... Whereas they make Kylo Ren kind of conflicted, and they didn't do enough background reinforcement on Snoke. She is like the main evil force in that game. Like, she's the person for certain, like, this person's bad. Like, she is bad.
I hope The Rise of Skywalker at least gives us a little bit about Snoke, because... Like, I fully acknowledge that we didn't know anything about the Emperor when he came in. But the Emperor was still like an ominous force throughout the entire original series until he's there. Yeah. In Return of the Jedi, they kill off Snoke in the second movie. Now that they're having Palpatine come in, I hope they just don't leave Snoke like there to dry.
Can I leave my theory on this? So what I think Snoke came to that galaxy for is he sensed Palpatine. He didn't sense Rey. He thought he sensed Rey, but he really sensed Palpatine. Palpatine, if you think in the first movie, he goes into detail Darth Plagueis the Wise and how he was so strong in the Sith that he was able to manifest midichlorians to keep himself alive and sustain life and create life. So another theory that comes out of that is that Plagueis was able to keep himself alive after... Palpatine kills him in the end of his novel, which coincides with the mid to beginning of Phantom Menace. So the theory there is Darth Plagueis is alive in the very beginning of Phantom Menace, but he's killed somewhere between the quarter of the movie and after. Yeah, which is very interesting. So Darth Plagueis is technically still in new canon because he's in the original movie, whereas his legend story might be a little altered from what you might have read. But I still think there is some use there that he was able to learn enough from Plagueis to where he can manifest midichlorians to sustain his own life force, considering that Sidious is by far the most powerful Sith, both in the fact that, not even explicitly but implicitly, he was able to trick Yoda, and he was able to trick Obi-Wan, he was able to trick Anakin, especially able to trick Anakin, which is very important. He was able to manipulate him the whole way. So the fact that he was able to hide the fact that he was a Sith the whole time up until that moment of realization in Episode 3, that kind of fooled no one in the audience but fooled everyone on screen. You can kind of see that the Sidious does have the capacity to do something wild of that nature, that where they can write it in, and true Star Wars nerds like us three would be like, makes sense. Yeah. So that's my theory on that Snoke actually came for Palpatine, but he thought it was Rey. Yeah. And that's why he was there. And I don't know if Palpatine's going to be all-knowing or just going to be like a lying, like a head just lying.
Well, if he's dead and is like if he's like a Force ghost of sorts, then he'd probably be more omnipotent because he has, he's in touch with the Force. But that is the thing that like, so the Sith and the Jedi have different, like they they experience the afterlife differently.
Yeah.
Because the Jedi, they can become one with the Force, and
Yes.
then their physical manifestations become a ghost.
And one thing I noticed is that in the Clone Wars, I don't know if you guys remember the season with Darth, when they had Darth Bane come out of the runes, when they went to the Sith Temple, Darth Bane. I think it's going to be similar, whereas the Death Star base is kind of like a Sith Temple now. Whereas there could have been some like wild acolytes that came in and made it the Sith Temple, something wild about that, or it just kind of like the Way of the Sith or the Book of Sith says that anywhere where a great Sith power dies or stays for a moment of time will be a Sith Temple. So it could very well be like a modern take, or that kind of modern take on a Sith Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's all stuff that I've been thinking about since I saw The Rise of Skywalker, and tying that all together, I can see where they would go with that.
Or it could just be fuck you. They're there for scraps.
Exactly.
It could be one way or the other.
Like that's
why
their
it's hard
Tasha
to predict
station.
that movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I what do you guys think about that? Because I think it's a very interesting take that they could do. They could re-implement some of the old canon that everybody's been asking for.
Yeah.
The Darth Plagueis storyline is one of the most widely followed of all of them, because everyone thought Snoke was going to be Darth Plagueis for a while, until we just realized that Darth Plagueis was a Mun and Snoke's more of a terrestrial than the Muns were. So
I don't know what to make of it, because it's just we can explore every reality, but it's just like I don't know. I just feel like no matter what we can do, it's just I don't know. I feel like anything we guess is going to be different. Like,
yeah, because we were all the same with
somewhat partially right, because I was so wrong with The Last Jedi.
We all were.
Yeah, everyone was.
But so with Plagueis, it was kind of a fan theory, a pretty widely accepted fan theory, that Plagueis was the de facto father of Anakin. Yeah. So now in one of the new Darth Vader comics, Vader's kind of having a dream of sorts, and it was just like the child without a father, and it's Shimmy pregnant with like she had like a red and black swirl like over her stomach, and a Sidious like character is like behind her, like hovering over her.
On Sidious like.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people pointed out that like it could be Plagueis, but it also could be Darth Vader thinking.
Yeah, Darth Vader's manifestation of
a father-like figure.
Yeah.
I would believe his father-like figure would be Sidious. That's the thing.
Yeah.
One thing about Plagueis is if they're going to portray him in any comic, you could tell, because they would have to portray him as a tall figure. Muns were like 7'5", 8 foot realm. They were very tall motherfuckers. So, and very lanky. So that's how they would have to portray them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Nonetheless, I'm really excited.
Yeah, nonetheless, The Last Jedi, we all have our qualms, but
Rian Johnson is out as director. J.J. Abrams is back, right?
Yeah, but Rian Johnson's also getting a trilogy to himself.
Is that still confirmed, or did they fire him outright?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't know, but we'll wait for the speculation. If any article you look up says otherwise, I don't know, because James Gunn was technically rehired within the month he was fired. It just took forever for it to get released that he was still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still working on it as of February 14th.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Well, another reason a lot of people say this trilogy has been that sketchy is that it hasn't been one vision behind every movie.
Exactly.
George Lucas was the invisible hand guiding all of the 3 original movies and all of the original prequels as well. And this time he doesn't have a role. It's Disney that has the role. And Disney's been very laissez-faire with the directors, kind of letting every director have their own way. Whereas Force Awakens was amazing. Their biggest mistake was not bringing back J.J. Abrams for the second movie.
So Lex kind of made the point that, like, why didn't they just have a consistent director? And I was like, I have no idea. And then I made the realization that one of the reasons the Avengers series and Marvel did so well is because the Russo brothers have been hanging around the entire time, and they directed all the big ones. Like, they did the entire Cap series. They did it. Was it all the Avengers? Because I know they.
I believe so. Yeah. The Russo brothers, right?
Yeah. No, they didn't do Ultron. That was Joss Whedon.
And then
well,
I
they
believe
did Endgame and
I believe what's the face? John. Fuck. Who's the guy that plays Happy?
Happy?
Yeah.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau did a few of the movies as well.
Yeah,
he directed Spider-Man, and he's been doing well with the movies he did
the
too.
reason Iron Man was.
Yeah, he did original Iron Man, which I would say is a very I would say the biggest movie out of all of them had to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, save that for the end game.
Yeah, but
Game
what
of Thrones
that is
discussions
the
we'll
point
have.
that like there hasn't been like the invisible figure to like pulling the strings between these movies, and we had conflicting ways of how they wanted the series to go because J.J. Abrams, he didn't want The Last Jedi to turn out the way it did.
Yeah, obviously not. J.J. Abrams is a huge Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, and Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah. So he did a great job of implementing elements from both series into the Force Awakens.
Lens flare.
I love J.J. Abrams so much.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is great,
fucking
but
love him.
one of the biggest complaints about his film was the amount of lens flare in this new Star Trek movies. It did give me a headache watching that in theaters.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
it's
liked
just
it.
a joke, but
I know.
I think it's like there's sheen. It's new. It's a ship. Star Trek has always been clean.
Boring.
Don't you dare.
It's
let's not get into
scientific. It's just anyway.
Oh God, it's
Mike.
scientific. It's boring. Ugh.
Okay, well, with that, we'll let you talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, let's talk about Star Trek now. All right, never mind.
Pissed off. I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
All right, so now my underrated game segment. Did I do that first or book recommendations?
Book recommendations.
Book recommendations?
Well, it was originally What's Left for Star Wars, but I think we actually covered that one.
Yeah, that actually was, because I really think what we were talking about, that is What's Left for Star Wars. It's all right. But I'm going to add on to my book recommendations. The comic book recommendation, I would, just because I want to hear more opinions about this, just because that Obsessed Med Nurse for Darth Vader just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an ability to read it, do it, because I'm just curious.
Yeah,
if
you have the ability to read, shout us out.
Yeah.
If you learn that skill.
If you have the ability to
read, we went over that.
Guys.
At least, personally, I was able to read Cat in the Hat.
I'm so happy with how far you made it. All right, my other one will always be.
What about Yertle the Turtle?
Okay, you're pushing it.
Mike, what's the best book you've
All
read?
right, my book recommendation will always be Rogue Squadron. But I actually did just start reading Obi-Wan's solo story. It literally is Kenobi. It's Kenobi. It's under Legends. I know.
I think I read that series because they did one for.
It's the most acclaimed one that people wanted the movie to be out based on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's him. It's him on Tatooine, and he doesn't want to get involved, but he has to.
Yeah.
I like that because post Revenge of the Sith Kenobi should be explored more.
Of course.
And it's a great read. So far, I love it. Big fan of it.
If I could interject real quick and just say my personal favorite read of the Star Wars universe, Thrawn trilogy. You get it happens right after Return of the Jedi, and it's honestly it should have been that next trilogy.
I missed the the ebook sale on some Star Wars stuff, but it cycles around. It's gonna definitely
read the
cycle
Thrawn
around.
trilogy because you get. I'm sorry, we get all the people you want. Like you get Leia, we get Luke, we get his son, we get everybody.
Speaking of Leia, I would also recommend Razor's Edge, Star Wars Razor's Edge, because it follows Leia. It is through the point of view of Leia, but it focuses on there's Leia, there's Han, in between 5 and 6. Or no, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Between 4 and 5, between A New Hope and Empire,
which is a pretty big gap. It's like 3 or 4 years between those movies.
Yeah, and Han, when Han says in Empire, it's just like but that bounty hunter on blank made me work. That's in it.
Yeah, awesome.
I'd recommend that. That's not Legends though, so thank God you can actually read that and still feel tied to that old Star Wars. I'll go into my recommended super fun underrated Sparkle segment. I'm gonna keeping that as it because it ties in. So I don't know if either of you've played Star Wars: The Clone Wars for PS2.
Yes,
No.
I played it for Xbox, but I had it. Was
that the one that was
released-
tied in with the animated movie?
No,
it was its own
wasn't?
standalone game that
This is a
detailed the Clone
standalone
Wars.
game. Here, I'll show you that. Yeah,
It was a
released in
ship-based game.
2002.
It was
I
like more of a
might
land-based
have-
ship gameplay game.
Yeah, it was
No,
a
then I
land
didn't.
tank. It was a land tank game.
Yeah, and it was so much fun.
It was so much fun, and it's underrated because you did fight as a Jedi, and yeah, it was lanky because it was 2002.
It was so
but
much
if you
fun,
beat the
though.
game, you got the Geonosian arena, which
know.
I spent hours. Just
Wasn't
in
it
the
you get
Geonosian
to
arena.
you got to play as Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah, you could play, and just cut shit up. And, yeah, because it was 2002 PS2, you can use cheat codes and just never die. So I would just, to kill time, I would just, fucking kill all the
I have that
droids
game for the
without
original
being able
Xbox.
to die, and it was kind of fun.
Wow.
I think I have a copy of the game in that cabinet right
Really?
over there. Yeah.
So the concept of that game is literally, you're on Geonosis. Apparently, the Sith are building a mega weapon based on dark force energy,
Okay.
and it's this giant ancient weapon that they have to dig up, and you have to explore an ancient ruins of a Jedi temple in order to discover the power to counter it.
Mm-hmm.
And Anakin has this moment of doubt where it's just like, if I go down this path, I'll be more susceptible to the dark side. So it's kind of like a little bit of a plot,
Yeah.
but it's a basic early gaming trope where it's just like giant force mega weapon that can change the tide of battle. We must destroy it, and it's like that kind of thing. It's still fun. God, I replayed that game so many times.
Completely agree. I completely agree. It was a great game.
Can I recommend an underrated game?
No.
Did you guys ever play the the Bounty Hunter game?
That's not underrated. That's one of the most famous
Yeah,
ones.
it's
Really?
actually one
Yeah.
of the most critically acclaimed out of all of them. It's
Next to
really
Battlefront,
fun.
that's up there.
Yep.
Because
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
I've never really met anyone that's played it.
I haven't played it. I've just read
I haven't
the
played
reviews.
it, but I
You
heard
can't
it was
argue with the
acclaimed.
reviews.
I played it when I was younger.
You can't argue with the reviews.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I never beat it because I was too young to care.
I would say the best one to
Yeah.
play would be Knights of the Old Republic, by far.
Yeah.
Best one to play.
Yeah, I did try to play that as a kid, but because I was a kid, it was hard for me to get through. But
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a fun episode, guys.
Absolutely.
We had our ups and downs. We had our
Yelling and screaming.
we had our laughable moments. We had our crying moments.
We had my
But
rage.
that's the Star Wars series. It has its
rage.
up and downs. It has its
a lot of rage.
It has its bridge scene with Luke and Vader, and then it has its Jar Jar Binks and Space Leia moments.
And Rose and...
You mean Mary Poppins space moments?
Yeah.
And you have Rose and Finn's love story that nobody wanted.
Oh yeah, and the casino planet where they're playing blackjack.
Not Bot. What's the name?
Sabak.
Sabak.
Well, they were
argued solo too. And
I
I'm
nearly
just
said
I love
bocce.
those little nerd arguments where it's just like it's Sabak or Sabak,
It's
and it's
Sabak.
just like it doesn't fucking matter. But I love the argument anyway because it's the most wholesome argument that we'll get from these Star Wars arguments.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is where we're going to be ending this episode here. So, what's coming up is... So, both Mungie and I have seen Endgame. Sisto is not. So, that's why we are doing this episode
There's
this
so
week.
much notes I'm going to make just to
Oh, yeah.
mention it with you.
So, next week, we are going to record another episode since we were on hiatus for a period of time. So, for the next 2 weeks, you're going to be getting 2 episodes. So, next episode, we will be talking about Endgame, of course. Mortal Kombat came out. I've been playing. I beat it today, actually, and I'll give my notes on that.
Game of Thrones.
And Game of Thrones.
Yeah, those two will talk about Game of Thrones.
Stay safe in episode 2. That's my best advice. Just stay
episode
there.
3.
No.
Oh.
No, stay in episode 2. It's
Well,
nice, it's warm, and it's wholesome there. Just every time a new episode just comes out, just stay in episode 2.
That was your philosophy for Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I never wanted to leave part 3.
Yeah. But yeah, so tomorrow night is the Battle of Winterfell. So we have that.
Like,
yeah, we have a
has
lot
the
coming
battle
up.
of spoilers going on right now.
Well, so that's another thing. So the reason we also were going to hold off on Endgame and the Battle of Winterfell is so people can have some time to watch it. But next week we are going to talk about it. We'll still put spoiler warnings in case you didn't see it.
Absolutely.
But if we're looking forward to the next episode. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at C_Y_character, and the same on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then we're on Facebook, Choose Your Character. We're at 130 something likes, 35, 37 or so. What?
I think we're higher than that.
I don't think so.
We'll get there.
Also,
But
follow
we're
us
getting
on Twitch. We're still doing those streams.
Yeah,
somewhat
thanks
regularly.
for joining us on Twitch. You got to watch us do some technical difficulties with Kerbal.
Yeah.
But we kind of fixed those kinks. We all have those issues.
We also did very well on our Gang Beast gameplay, and Mike's Elite Dangerous got some view play, right?
Yeah, it was because you missed it.
Yeah, I know.
Did
It's
you
actually
see it?
very impressive.
I couldn't watch it.
Well, so I played a bounty mission on Elite Dangerous, and my canopy broke. So my glass broke out.
Oh my god, I wish I watched that.
And then I made it to the station with 3 seconds to spare, and then I made it into the airlock with a second.
The funny part was they didn't do repairs.
Oh yeah.
So
When
Mike's
I
fucked.
got home to play, I did die. Yeah.
So what happens when you die?
You just rebuy your ship. You spawn it at the station. that
Yeah,
you're
it's
at.
kind of like you have like a ship insurance. So
Yeah, you have insurance for your ship.
I'm sure you had more than enough money.
It actually cut my profits in half, or my balance in half.
That's
Press
how it
F to
does
pay
it, though.
respects for that in the comments below, guys.
Yeah. So, but we love the conversation. So make sure you follow us on Twitch.
Yeah.
And just, if you want to shoot us a DM on Twitter, Instagram,
Let us
Facebook.
know what you want to see us play. Let us know if you want to see us play Battlefront or something and just rage at
let
it.
Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you have any
Exactly.
comments, concerns, questions. If you're the father of any of our children.
Please stop.
But
Okay.
All right, until next episode. I'm Mike.
I'm Mike Marcucci.
See, I actually like that. I'm Mike, and I'm Mike. But
Can we try this
It's already
again?
ruined already.
Let's start again. Go.
No, because now it's.
Just go.
I'm Mike.
I'm Marcucci. No, we gotta do our
Come
last
on.
names. No, we gotta do our last names because
fucking
if we're
damn
all
it.
Mikes, then people are not,
But that's the. All right, you know what? Fine. Until next week, I am the silky smooth sounds of Midnight March.
And I'm Marcucci.
And I like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Have a good one. Have a good week. We'll see you around.
Have a great day, guys.